Today we will perform the practical, that is a zero power factor test on three-phase induction mode, three-phase synchronous alternator. Determination of voltage regulation by Portier triangle method. So zero power factor means the current is lagging by 90 degree, and it is possible only when we connect a purely inductive load. This type of test needed three additional two readings. One is the open circuit characteristic and second is the short circuit characteristic. So the description of the circuit is that it is a DC shunt motor acting as a prime move. It is a 5 HP DC motor. It is connected when the rheostat is there to adjust the speed, which is equal to the synchronous speed. Now this is the three-phase alternator, star connected alternator. Excitation is given from the DC source. Measure the excitation current from 0 to 2 ampere a meter, and rheostat is connected in the field winding, that is the rotor field winding, excitation winding. At open circuit voltage, when the switch is open and when the switch is closed, the short circuit test can be carried out. So first procedure is that to find out the open circuit characteristic, that is a open circuit test, and then it is a short circuit test. So run the start DC motor. Once the motor is started, bring the speed of DC motor near to the synchronous speed and equal to the synchronous speed. Once the synchronous speed we get for the synchronous alternator, give the excitation. First excitation is say 0, and from the 0 value of 0.1 value, 0.2 value, as per the excitation we will increase slowly the excitation and write down the corresponding reading of phase-to-phase voltage. Say for example, the observation table consists of DC field excitation 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 and 0.4 so on. It is 1 ampere or 1.1 ampere is there, it is in ampere. Whereas we are going to measure the open circuit voltage, so it will give say 100 volt, there it may be a 200 volt and so on. So first part is linear and after that it is a saturation region is there. Once the open circuit is over, shut down the motor generator set, alternator set, change the connection and do the one short circuited link between two phase, and one phase it is connected with the ammeter. So this switch is closed, so this is closed one. Again start the DC motor, take the speed of DC shunt motor equal to the synchronous speed. Already we have maintained that speed. You ensure that the excitation current should be 0, otherwise it will flow a heavy current, it will damage the instruments those are connected like ammeter especially, as well as it will damage the alternators. So be careful that your DC excitation current is 0. Now as soon as we increase the excitation current, the current is drastically increased. Say at 0.1 ampere is 1.1 ampere, 2.2 ampere, 3.5 ampere, and it is say 4.9 ampere and so on. So take the reading up to the maximum current. The current of the alternator is 4.3. So it's hardly 4 to 5 ampere we can take, otherwise it will get heated. Next, remove this link and connect inductive load to the synchronous alternator. So here we will connect inductive load to ammeter. Again 0 to 5 ampere is there, and there is a inductive load. So it star connected inductive is a variable. It should be a variable. So here this is a variable. It is a simply, instead of this one we can represent as a load. Simply it is a load. So inductive load is there. So it is a variable inductive load. To obtain the power factor is 0, that is cos of theta is equal to 0 only when theta is equal to 90. So the current is lagging. Current is lagging. Say this is the excitation voltage EF. This is the exciting MMF, field MMF. So the current is nearly lagging. Short circuit current ISC, armature current, it is armature current is lagging nearly 90 degree, and hence it produces the armature MMF FE, which is quite opposite to this one. So this is the say pole axis is a DX, direct axis, and it is the quadrature axis. It induces EMF which is lagging by 90 degree. Current is lagging nearly 90 degree, because of the pure inductive load connected to it. So under such condition, some initial values you will not find the voltage, whereas some value you are going to find out and come up to the rated voltage, say 450 volt up somewhere. It is not a correct value, means you will get some voltage here 110 volt, it may be 250 volt and so on. This is the some general example of the readings. What would be the reading, what would be the pattern of reading over here. Now this is the zero power factor. Zero power factor test is performed at constant armature current, and it is plotted between terminal voltage versus field current. Means we are keeping the armature current 4.3 ampere is a constant. So at any load condition, by varying the load, keep the current is 4.3 ampere, measure the excitation current and corresponding to the terminal voltage, So the zero power factor characteristic ZPFC is plotted between the terminal voltage versus field current at rated armature current. So this is the zero power factor characteristic. Zero power factor characteristic is terminal voltage versus field current at constant rated armature current. At any condition, you have to keep the armature current is constant. Now, what would be the characteristic? Already in the previous practical we found this is the OCC, open circuit characteristic, this is the short circuit characteristic, and ZPFC is, say here up to this value 1.12 value, the ZPFC voltage is 0, so it is started from here. It is not the correct value. I am giving some example for drawing the proper characteristic. So this is OCC, this is ZPFC, and this is ISC or short circuit characteristic. Okay, so this is the ZPFC is there. Now what is the procedure to find out the voltage regulation by ZPFC or Spottier triangle? First locate the rated voltage. Say this is the rated voltage of the alternator. Say this is the rated voltage of the alternator is V rated, and say this point is A. This point is A. This point is A. Draw the air gap line. Air gap line is nothing but a tangent to the OCC. So this is air gap line. Okay. Next, find the armature current required to full load current. Say here the full load current is 4.3 ampere is the full load current. So armature current, field current required to circulate full load armature current under short circuit. So this is the say FA plus FAL. So that amount of MMF, or that is a in centimeter, because this is the field current or it is a field MMF, you draw a line up to this one. So this much is the A to, say this point can be represented as a D. This point is a D, and from D point draw a parallel line to the air gap line, and this point is the C. What is that? This much, that is this much distance is nothing but FA plus FAL. It is the field current required to circulate full load armature current. It is going to maybe defined from the, say for example, here is the full load, say here is the full load short circuit current, and the field current required is nothing but FA plus FAL. Already this has been deeply discussed in the MMF method and EMF method. Okay, now join this point C and A. Draw the tangent from C to the AD line, and say this point is B. So now length BC is equal to IAXAN. So this distance B to C is nothing but the voltage. We are going to measure the voltage. So measure the how much voltage is there. Therefore we can find XAL, leakage reactance, is equal to length BC, that BC is in volt, that is measured in volt, divided by armature current, that is rated armature current. So now XAL is going to find very easily. Now calculate the voltage ER. What is the voltage ER? Is equal to VT plus IAXAN. Terminal voltage plus terminal voltage plus armature resistance into bracket RA plus XAN. Find its magnitude and angle. So ER, it's a magnitude, and angle, say alpha is the angle. Alpha is the angle. Now calculate the field current FR. So we can expand this one also. It is a VT cos theta plus J sin theta plus IA into bracket RA plus JXA. So by this way we are going to find out its magnitude and angle. So from this angle we can find the value of FR. FR corresponds to magnitude of ER. Means somewhere it is ER, somewhere it is ER. Okay. From this value of ER, come to the x-axis, and this is give the FR. So now FR is equal to FR into bracket cos 90 plus alpha plus J sin 90 plus alpha. So we will get the value of FR. Okay. So once the FR value is found, find this is the total value FA plus FAL. So this much part is FA. This much part is FA. So therefore FL is equal to FR minus FA. So simply by calculating this one, once we know the magnitude of FF, measure what is the FF value is there, somewhere it is the FF. Come to the OCC, and from the OCC this value is ER. So now locate the value of ER corresponds to FF, it will give the ER. Therefore, percentage regulation is equal to ER minus VT divided by ER into 100. So, in this way, the voltage regulation can be calculated by Peltier triangle. This triangle is called as a Peltier. Okay, it represents the IAXL. So, what is the advantage? In the two last method, means in MMF method and EMF method, we are not able to calculate the XA, leakage armature leakage reactance. But here we can calculate the leakage armature reactance, and the result found by ZPF method or result found by the Peltier triangle method is very near to the say MMF method. So when we found the two methods give the near value, so that will be the correct value, and the regulation found by impedance method is always greater than the actual value, therefore it is called as a pessimistic. So now we will perform the practical, and by doing the practical, first we will do the practical for open circuit test, then short circuit test and zero power factor test. Now these three readings with respect to the field current is able to draw the OCC, ISC, ZPFC and these calculation for determination of voltage regulation.